Hey guys, what's up? It's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. If you've never been here before, like I said, my name is Amanda. I currently work as a postpartum nurse. I work night shift, but I'll be switching in November to day shift and I'm so excited. On this channel, I do a lot of vlogs about nursing, life, all that fun stuff. But then I also talk a lot about finances and do monthly budgets and very open and honest about finance on here. So if you are into that kind of stuff, I would love for you to subscribe. And with that being said, today's video is just going to be a little finance Q&A. I haven't done one in a while and I feel like people always have a lot of the same questions. That's just 10 times easier to answer in a video than replying to comments on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm going to give you a little background story, information about me, my debt journey so far, all the fun stuff, and then we'll get into some of your guys' questions. All right, so I started my debt-free journey in about January of 2020. I graduated from nursing school in May of 2019 and started working a full-time job. By the time I graduated, I had about 120-ish thousand in student loans, and I also had a car payment on top of that. Since then, I have paid off my car completely, $16,000, and I'm currently around $87,000 for student debt. So making progress, doing the things. I also got married a month and a half ago now. So that is, a lot of people have questions about finances once you're married, so I'll go into a little bit of detail about that too. But with that being said, let's get into your questions. All right, so first question is how to budget for Christmas / get meaningful gifts for others on a budget. For saving for holidays and gifts for people, what I do for the most part is I have a miscellaneous part of my budget. So if something like comes up that I forget about, that's just where it would come from. But for things like Christmas, usually in November, I'll kind of sit down, well, when I'm making my November budget, I'll sit down and I'll kind of figure out, okay, who do I need to get gifts for this year? How much is it gonna cost me? All that stuff. And then between November and December, save up for that, put some money aside. If you have like a ton of people to save for, you can always like start that earlier, but for me, I usually don't have that many people that I do presents for. And this year, Alex and I agreed that we would rather save our money for a house than buy like gifts for each other. So we're gonna do probably like a little like date night, something fun for the both of us. But yeah, that's how I would recommend to do that. Next question is, what is the website that I use to track my budget? So I currently use the EveryDollar app. It's on my phone, and then they also have a website that is by Dave Ramsey. If you know me, you know that I'm like not a huge fan of him, but his budget app is awesome. So it like works off a zero-based budget, and I actually have a whole video about how to budget and like using the app, so I'll have that linked up here for you guys if you need it. And yeah, that's what I use. It's been really nice. I insert all of my transactions and everything, so then that holds me accountable as well. What are you guys doing? Next question is how to face budgeting burnout, keeping budgeting fun. That is definitely something that I struggled with, especially after my first few months of budgeting and paying off debt. I was like really burnt out about like not spending money on other things. So one thing I would say is that I don't think it's ever like 100% possible to not spend money on anything else. You're gonna have to find a happy medium where you're able to do it consistently and not feel that burnout. I don't get burnt out from budgeting. I get burnt out from not feeling like I'm able to do things because I'm stressed out about money. Everybody's gonna be a little different on that and figuring out a level that is comfortable for them without feeling that burnout. Next question is how to prioritize saving money for a vacation or an expensive item and putting that money toward, instead of like putting that money towards debt. So if you have like a big thing coming up, like for example, mine and Alex's wedding, we knew when that was gonna be, and then we took the amount of money that we needed to save for it and split that up amongst however many months until that date. So if we needed to save $200 every month towards the wedding, then I would just make sure that I budgeted that every month. And then if you're doing the zero-based budgeting like I do, the rest of the money then goes towards your debt. So I hope that makes sense. So basically that's called a sinking fund. I'm not the one who created it, obviously. So it's like with any huge expense, as long as you know when it's gonna be and how much you need to save for, you should be able to split that up amongst the months and go from there. Next question is, what is the most useful thing that you've learned and put into action from Dave Ramsey? I feel like the biggest thing that I have learned is just how much budgeting your money matters and saves your butt. It's honestly not that challenging to do, but ever since I've done it, I'm just way more aware of where my money's going and what I'm spending on things. And I also don't know how people like live day to day without budgeting, because how do you know that you have enough money to buy things? I don't know. It's just like, I mean, maybe people who just make a lot of money don't have to worry about it because they're not spending. But I don't know. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I have. Obviously, like, the debt snowball is awesome and something that I semi-follow. I don't follow it fully, but I would say budgeting for sure. Next question is, how do I avoid impulse purchases or feel-good purchases? And let me tell you, it ain't easy. It's not fun. The biggest thing is that I have a category that I budget for every month for miscellaneous purchases. So if I go and spend all that money, then I spend all that money, then I don't allow myself to do it. The thing with that though is I find myself spending way more money at the beginning of the month in that category because I have the money available. We have some cats who are joining us. They want some attention. I find, what was I saying? Cats, you distracted me. Oh, I find that at the beginning of the month I tend to spend more money, and then at the end of the month I don't because I don't have the money. But like if you're online shopping, one thing I like to do is like if I'm shopping, I number one ask myself, why am I looking? Why am I shopping? Is it because I'm bored? Because if it's because I'm bored, I don't need to do that. I need to find something else to do. Do I actually need something? Then it's a different situation. If I'm just like, oh, I could use some clothes or something, then I will put stuff in my cart, and then the next day, if I still really think I want it or need it, then I'll purchase it. So I give myself a little bit of time, but the biggest thing is making sure that I'm not just browsing because I'm bored, because I do that a lot. It's bad. But I've gotten better. I'm getting better. I'm working on it. Next question is, do all nursing students have to take out loans? Is it really as expensive as people say? So like if your parents saved up money for you to go to school, then no, you don't have to pay. You don't have to take out loans. Like for example, Alex, he was lucky enough that his parents had a college fund for him, and so he has zero student loan debt. My parents were not able to do that. They have given me a little bit of money and they've helped me pay off my loans, but they weren't able to help me with that, so I had to take out loans to get where I wanted to be. It also is going to depend on if you want to do like a 4-year college nursing degree or if you want to do a tech school nursing degree, the pricing of that. I think I have like 2 videos that go into depth, one about how I paid for nursing school and another one about like comparing different nursing programs. So I will have those linked below for you to check out if that is something you are interested in. But no, you don't have to take out, but if you don't have another way to pay for college, then yes, you have to either go through FAFSA or take out student loans. But FAFSA is student loans, but it's just through the government and not private. Next question is, food category ruins my budget. Some months I do well, some months not. Any advice? I'm not sure if you're talking about like going out to eat or grocery shopping. One thing that I have been working on recently with grocery shopping is when I'm buying things, I ask myself, do we actually need this for anything we're cooking this week, or is this something that is going to sit in our cabinet for a month or two or a week or two? Because if it's not something I need for that week, I don't buy it, because I was finding that we just had more food than we needed, and I was spending more money than we needed to, and things would go bad and we were just wasting more food. So that's what I'd say for grocery shopping. Also, meal prepping, huge help because you know exactly what you need for the week. If you're talking about going out to eat, I personally don't have that hard of a time with going out to eat, especially recently because I'm just so busy with work and stuff, and I work night shift, so I don't have time to go out to eat. But I honestly, to be honest, Alex and I don't budget that in our thing, and then for me, if I just went out to eat with a friend, it would just go into my miscellaneous category. So I don't have like a specific going out to eat because it's not a big part of my life. But if Alex and I were to go out to eat, we don't have a specific like part of our budget for that. Next question is, do I want to be a stay-at-home mom / work less when I become a mom? Am I saving money for that time yet? No, I don't think I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom. I'll probably work a little bit less. And no, we're not saving money for that. We're saving money for a house right now. That's our biggest priority. I am lucky enough that I make a good amount of money per hour that if I do cut back, it's not gonna really affect us that much. So those are all the questions on Instagram. Now I have a few that you asked on YouTube. First question is, I'd be interested in learning more about your housing search, ideal square footage, lot size, mortgage payment, blah, blah, blah. Are we planning on putting down 20%, average house? Okay, so this is the kind of gist thing that we're at right now. Let me know if you want like more specific video, but I'm just gonna go broad. So we are looking at the most, it's like the highest price we would want to have for a house is like 375,000. Ideally, we want to have a house that is at least 1,800, if not 2,000 square feet. That is dependent on if it has a basement that's finished, because if it has a basement that's not finished, the square footage is obviously less, and that is something that we could totally do, finish and like have more square footage. We want at least 3 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms. Would like it to be built in the last like 20-30 years. We don't want a super old house, not a fixer-upper. We could throw some paint on some things and have like a few tiny little projects, but I don't want to have to like fix anything to move in, if that makes sense. And yeah, we are looking around the area that we live in right now. We live in the suburbs of Madison and they are fairly expensive, so we are also looking a little further out, which has actually some pretty nice houses for right around our price range compared to what's around here. So we don't have anything set in stone for sure. We definitely have like a list of things we want and need and all that stuff, which I can totally make a separate video of. But yeah, those are our main things. Pretty much all the other questions, at least 4 of them, are all related to mine and Alex's finances now that we're married. So I'm gonna go through that and try to answer the few questions that we have about that. How are our finances changing now that we're married? I honestly, for now, they're not changing. Me and Alex, and for the last like 2 years, we have one joint bank account where we both put a certain amount of money there every month that covers our bills, rent, phone bill, groceries if we go out. And then we both have our separate accounts where we have a few bills, and I mainly have my student loan payments from my account. I'm sure in the next few years we will just join everything, but for now it's what works, and I don't really feel like trying to move everything around and figure that out because Alex doesn't really budget his money very well, and no, I don't want to say that. He doesn't not budget his money well, he just period doesn't budget his money. We'd have to work on that, and it's just I don't want to deal with it right now. So everything that we do right now works really well, whatever. And so our biggest goal right now is saving up for the house. So if you didn't know, I paused my debt snowball until we buy a house, and someone asked if I'm nervous about that, and I'm a little bit, but like at the same time I know that it's like not that big of a deal, and I'm already so ahead on everything that it's totally gonna be okay, and I'm still gonna pay it off early, and once we buy a house, that's gonna be our priority again, so not that big of a deal. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take us to save for the house. Our lease is up in end of May, so obviously we would like a house by then. I've also mentioned this before, but Alex does have some money in the stock market and like mutual funds and stuff like that that he's able to take out for the house, so that's gonna help us as well. We're hoping to be able to put down like 40,000-ish for a down payment, and then we're also saving extra money for anything that we need to change with the house or buy furniture, closing costs, insurance, all that fun stuff. So I think that's all the questions that we have. I feel like there's a lot more detail I could go into about like finances and stuff as a couple, so let me know if that's something you guys are like interested in getting like a whole separate video on, because I will totally do that. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe so you don't miss all the fun videos that come, my monthly budgets, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.